This is where we run down physical media by the numbers. First, I look at the top 20 selling 4K Ultra HD discs of a previous week and give you my thoughts and recommendations on every single title there. And then, of course, we get into the market share breakdown where we look at the different disc formats, DVDs, Blu-rays, and 4Ks, see how well they're selling in comparison to one another. And then we get into some speculation and predict the future of overall sales with physical media. How is physical media doing out there? But before we get into that, of course, if you love collecting physical media just like me and being part of this amazing league of mega movie fans, go ahead and mega smash that like and subscribe. That way I can keep you entertained and up to date on all these physical media numbers in the future, of course. But let's get into this list here. Let me bring it up. Starting at the bottom, we got Sicario, Day of the Soldado. Sony Pictures Steelbook is selling like hotcakes at those $5 Steelbook bins in Walmart. So happy to see that sequel finally selling. I never actually seen the sequel. The first one was pretty good, but didn't hear great things about that second one. You guys will have to let me know. Next up, we got the Batman from Warner. Once again, guessing this is a Steelbook that's selling right in those $5 bins. Next up, we got Rosemary's Baby from Paramount. This one just got a good discount on Amazon, so happy to see that selling. That's a good classic horror movie, very atmospheric. Next up, another Steelbook here. We got Spiral from the Book of Saul from Lionsgate. I actually quite like that Saul movie. It's not my favorite out of the bunch, but it's pretty entertaining. It actually has some comedic moments mixed with the horror and gore. Next up, we got Dread from Lionsgate. They did a reprint of their Steelbook, and I still need to get this one in the collection. It's like comic book action, gory fun, very entertaining. Next up, we got a new one finally with K-19, The Widowmaker from Shout Studios, and I think this is the one with Harrison Ford, if I'm not mistaken. Never seen this one. I'm guessing it's a crime thriller mystery of sorts. Next up, we got Total Recall from Lionsgate. Once again, I think this is another Steelbook that was selling, and I do like this movie. It's a good sci-fi action movie with Arnold, of course. Next up, we got another reprint of a Lionsgate Steelbook with American Psycho from Lionsgate. I mean, Lionsgate is just killing the charts this week with their Steelbooks, and I really like this one. It's like a satire, horror, dark comedy, a whole mixture of a movie with Christian Bale in there. Definitely some intriguing moments for sure. Next up, we got Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard from Lionsgate as well. And this is once again another $5 Steelbook if you're lucky enough to find these at a Walmart bin near you. Next up, we got Creepshow from Shout Studios. They did another Steelbook release, and then the regular 4K got discounted on Amazon, so that's pretty cool. Haven't seen this movie yet, but I heard it's like the go-to horror anthology stories. Next up, we got Wish from Disney, and this movie's decent enough. The music's pretty good. I like the animation style they went with. It is quite different. So I can appreciate that one for what it is. Next up, we got The Hunger Games, The Battle of Songbirds and Snakes from Lionsgate. Once again, Lionsgate just destroying it. This movie was actually pretty good, at least the first two-thirds. Really good singing in there, some really good battles. So I enjoyed that one in theaters. Next up, we got Wonka from Warner. And I enjoyed picking up my steelbook of this one. Such a cool design with like the chocolate bar and the candy, of course. But awesome musical. Timothy Chalamet is really good in this one. It's a very solid prequel. Doesn't take anything away from the original one. All right, next up we got Dune Part 1 from Warner. Dune Part 2 is killing it in theaters, so it makes sense that people are wanting to see Dune Part 1 again along with that one. Next up, we finally got a new one with the Ring Collection from Shout Studios. Now, I've only seen, I think, the American remake, the first one. I haven't seen the international ones. I haven't seen the sequels. So I don't know if I need this collection yet. If it gets a heavy discount, maybe in the future. But the artwork design on the front looks really creepy with the blues and the greens. Very, very cool design. All right, next up, we got Oppenheimer from Universal. Of course, Oppenheimer is going to stay on this list for a long time now, just because it did so well in the box office, did great with award season, and it just had so much hype built around it. We're going to see Oppenheimer last here for a while, kind of like, a John Wick movie, as it will. All right, next up, we got Aquaman, The Lost Kingdom from Warner. I picked up the steelbook for this one myself. It's not the best DC movie. Actually, it's kind of at the bottom of my pile, but it has some fun action moments. That's what I can say about it. Just missed the mark on a few things. All right, next up, we got, yes, some James Cameron titles here. Finally, we got The Abyss from 20th Century. I guess people are finally getting this one in from the Disney Movie Club or whatever site they went to. It just took long enough. I know mine took forever to arrive, but The Abyss, is very good. I like the underwater scenes, the creature designs. I think the 4K sharpness looks excellent with those elements in there. Got True Lies from 20th Century as well, of course. True Lies, awesome action movie with Arnold and Jamie Lee Curtis, and it's just a fun, fun time. Really enjoyed that one too. And the 4K makes it look like a squeaky, shiny new penny. Very, very clean. And then number one should be no surprise here. We got Aliens from 20th Century. Seemed to be a very, very popular title there. And I actually think the 4K looks quite good on that one too. So very happy with those James Cameron titles overall. If you haven't seen my review of those, you definitely want to check out that video. I'll link that in the description below, but very impressed with those overall. But there we go. Those were the top 20 selling 4K discs of that week. Pretty shocked there with some of those titles, but I shouldn't be, right? Those $5 steelbooks just got Lionsgate hitting it out of the park there. We had a lot of great Warner stuff in there as well. Those two studios definitely killing it. And then 20th Century taking the top with those James Cameron titles. Just a great week for physical media there. So very, very happy with that. But let's get into the market share breakdown. Let's check out the different disc formats. Very, very kind of status quo, but it looks great for all the different disc formats. We got 4Ks about 15%. I'm loving that. Love them above that 15% marker. So totally fine with that. And then we got Blu-rays around 25%. Once again, that's pretty good. I don't like to see them go under 25%. Yeah, I would love them about 30%, but what are you going to do there? And then DVD is actually a little bit below 60% now. I mean, it's very close right there, but DVDs, of course, still king, still the convenient, cheap option. People are loving that format. And when you go into a Walmart, it's no surprise because there's so many movies and TV shows that are just on the DVD format. You can't find the Blu-ray or the 4K of those. So it makes sense why DVDs are still selling so hot right there. Totally, totally understandable. But yeah, at least 4K's kind of rebounded a little bit since a couple weeks ago, and Blu-rays a little bit as well, but not too much of a big fluctuation. But now let's get into talking about how is physical media sales doing overall, just with educated guesses and speculation and past history. What can we think about physical media and how it's doing right now? Well, physical media is definitely alive and well. We've had a lot of great titles come out this month. I think the James Cameron 4K titles were big hits. A lot of people were ordering those and finally getting those in, which is fantastic. The $5 steelbooks at the Walmart bins that people were able to get, I wasn't able to find them yet. Still on the hunt for those. A lot of people were able to pick up those ones they missed in their collection. They're just really beefing up their steelbook collection there, but at least they're selling and making some money off of it. Yeah, it's not the day one $30, $35 prices, but at least the studios are getting a little bit back for that. And there was a couple new titles thrown in there as well. So I think physical media is doing decently overall, probably still in decline from a year ago, but that's to be expected. But at least in the spring season, we're seeing hopefully a little bit more of a bounce back. And once we get into summer, we'll get some new hot titles, and that'll definitely create a big boost. At least that's what I'm guessing right now. And it looks like collectors are pretty happy with the options that are coming out. I mean, there's so much to collect. You kind of got to pick and choose right now. You just can't get everything. So happy to see all these disc formats, 4Ks, Blu-rays, DVDs selling. You get your choices when it comes to a lot of these titles because, yeah, a lot of the new titles do have multiple format options. So you kind of can choose what you'd like to go with there. So very happy for all the collectors out there being able to have all those different disc formats. Are all selling well, and that is excellent. You guys will have to let me know in the comments below. How do you think physical media is doing overall out there? What do you think of the market share breakdown? And were you surprised by any of the top selling 4K titles? And then, of course, go ahead and mega smash that like and subscribe if you haven't already. That way I can keep you entertained and up to date on all the latest physical media topics in the future. And if you love this physical media topic, mega smash the next video. That's going to give you all my thoughts on all those James Cameron 4K titles. And thank you so much, my mega membership supporters.